it's almost kind of a woe is me in a way. And I realize I'm kind of being like very direct right here, but it's a societal thing where we feel like we need to be busy in order for us to feel like we are achieving something. What is going on, my friends? Welcome back to another episode of The Morning Takeaway. And if you'll excuse me while I get the rest of these nuts out of my teeth, I feel like I'm gonna be looking at the camera while I'm doing this and there's just gonna be a black spot. And if there is, just because I had a handful of mixed nuts and I tried to wash it out with water, but I'm feeling it. Anyways, hope you're having an awesome day. And today's episode, I kind of want to talk on the regular flow of a day. And not even that, it's just kind of, I guess that's something that's intertwined in the topic, but how are you doing? What's your day like? How's work going? Those are the typical questions that we kind of get from people. And whether the common answer is good, or I'm just doing good, I'm busy, work's busy, all of the common answers. And that's really what I want to hit on today. And the idea of being busy versus being productive. And I think as we get older, these conversations kind of become more and more bottlenecked or narrow in a way. It's like the two things that we care about when we first meet somebody. What's your name and what do you do? And then the next time you see them, it's how's work going? And the answer is almost always, oh, it's busy, just traveling a lot. Oh, and that is kind of the norm. And it's almost like we say that out of habit or sometimes even out of, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe a little bit ego. And the idea that we have to be almost leveling up people by saying, hey, we're busy. And, our days are so like, it's almost kind of a woe is me in a way. And I realize I'm kind of being like very direct right here, but it's a societal thing where we feel like we need to be busy in order for us to feel like we are almost achieving something. And I think that's where I wanted to come in with this topic, is because achieving something is different than being busy. Achieving something is being productive. And for us to achieve things as human beings, that's on a personal, individual level, and it makes us feel really good inside. When you're productive, we all know that feeling when you get in that state of flow and you get going and going and going. Everything just kind of feels just like it's flowing, right? You're in that state of flow and you're knocking everything out on your to-do list, which I call a productivity list. And you just mosey through the day like nothing's happening, right? It's just so easy. And I think that feeling is building so much inside you, and the self-confidence that it breeds and the trust in yourself that you can get these things done. And, I'm kind of going down a rabbit hole, but I think the idea here is the difference between being busy and being productive. If you really sit and break that down, when you are busy, what's the common phrase we all hear? Oh, I was just doing busy work. Well, it's really just something to take up time. And I get it, there's external factors, there's things in different jobs that we just have to do, there's things that I just have to do, quote unquote, but that's also what I want to talk about. And the difference in being busy and productive to me is the idea of having priorities. And something that I want to share that I've really been working on, I guess just this week as of recently, and something that has kind of kept in the common theme. I told you guys two of my words for this year are balance and minimalism. And the idea with that balance word is really balancing like what is important in the work that I'm doing today. What is at the top of my productivity list that I know I need to get done that doesn't feel like busy work? Now, the busy work is just that. It keeps you busy. It takes up time. It's the nitty-gritty stuff that doesn't really probably need to be on your quote-unquote to-do list, but you just know you got to do it. And I think when it comes down to being productive at work or whatever your career is, it really boils down to what am I going to put my time, effort, and attention into based on what's most important. And I think I heard this on a podcast a long time ago that is Andy Frisella. He's the owner and CEO of First Form, a supplement company. And he was talking on the idea that he's going to go in, he's going to write everything that he's going to do on a to-do list every single day. And then he's going to pick the top 3 things because our brains work in threes. And he's going to number them 1 to 3. What's the most important? What's the second most important? What's the third most important? Take the bulk of his time on those 3 things, and then with the leftover time, you allot that to the quote unquote little things or busy work, which can also, be not busy work, but productive, because now you're feeding that to the bigger cause of the priorities, right? And something I want to introduce to you, and something that was just introduced to me, was the idea of blocking time. And I've just been experimenting with that this week, but I promise you it has made me 10 times more productive already. And the idea of blocking time is going through that list and writing, hey, I'm gonna give myself 10 minutes on this, whatever this task is, and then I'm gonna move to the next one. And I'm gonna give myself 15 minutes for this one, or if it's the number 1 priority, I'm gonna give myself 2 hours today to do this. And when that 2 hours is up, you move on. You move on to the next thing. Maybe you take a break after the 2 hours. Andrew Huberman actually talks a lot about how we work in 90-minute blocks. So just to give you a good frame of reference, 90 minutes is about a good time of length of duration to work on something. Take a 5 to 10 minute break, go back to a 90-minute bout of work. And if you have more questions on that kind of research, I would love to talk about it. There's a really good podcast that he does on that. So anyways, I'm going down another rabbit hole. But anyways, the idea that we can block our time, and if it gets to the end of that 10 minutes, well, you got something done. And you can take that 10 minutes that you put towards it and make it, do it the next day for 10 minutes, right? Chances are, unless obviously there's a crazy deadline, chances are you're putting your full undivided attention in for those 10 minutes before you move on to the next task, rather than taking it and drawing it out for, 50 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever it is. And after that 10 minutes, your focus and your attention and your creativity starts to kind of go down, where you could take that other 10 minutes and maybe get what you got done in 45 minutes done in a total of 20 minutes between 2 days, and put your full undivided focused attention into that one task over 2 days, 20 minutes, and really be more productive, right? So I think it's important for us as we go through our daily lives and routines and careers that we understand the difference in being productive and being busy, because the busy idea has a kind of a negative connotation around it. And when you feel like you're busy, you almost feel like you're distracted in a way. It's almost just like a way of distracting us from life. And at the end of the day, we all want to live our lives with fulfillment and enjoying life, right? So I think for me, especially in this past week of just kind of experimenting with that blocking and prioritizing different activities or tasks rather, it's helped me be a little bit more mindful of not only what I'm doing in the moment, but enjoy it and know it's not going anywhere. There's no, you can come back to it and put even more attention into it. And at the end of the day, you're going to be more productive because you can probably get more done in less time and be more attentive? Put more of your undivided attention into it and your creativity and your presence into it, right? And ultimately the outcome is higher and better and higher quality. So that's kind of the little idea I wanted to put out there today. I was just thinking on it and sharing my experience because it's something I've been experimenting with on my own. So if you did take something away, I would greatly appreciate you liking, commenting your thoughts on busy versus productive. And if you did take something away, and maybe you know somebody that needs to hear this, that feels like they're always overwhelmed or always caught up in like, oh, what's the next thing I got to do? Because I've been there, and I still go through that pretty much almost every day. But this is definitely helping me with the peace of mind and the idea that we can break it down into more tangible tasks in a way. So, like I said, if you took something away, share the show. I appreciate it. It's the best way you can help me out. We're gonna end this thing with a random question. What uncommon thing would you like to see become more common? Ooh, kind of on this idea, and this is the first thing I thought of, but one uncommon thing. I want in a typical something that we get answered or questioned that we answer in a different way. So, for example, how's your day going? I went through this period of life where I did this all the time, and I should probably go back to it because it was kind of fun to see the reactions. But what uncommon thing would you like to see become more uncommon? The question I would always get was, how's your day? Or how are you doing? And like I said at the beginning of the video, it's always, oh, good, how are you? It's like, oh, are you really good? Or are you just lying? Or are you just saying that to shut the person up? Or are you just trying to get on to the next thing and avoid conversation? Well, I went through a period where I would always answer, I've never been better. And the types of reactions you would get, some would be like, oh, like, tell me about that. Like, what's going on so crazy today? Well, just another day, just never been better because it's the only day I get. Or some people are just kind of like, oh, this guy's a wacko, and just like kind of doesn't say anything. It's like, yeah, right, never been better. But it's interesting because it's so uncommon to get a different kind of answer than that, or to that question. And then to expand on it, you kind of create an opportunity and window for connection and conversation. And you never know who you might meet. You might not ever know what kind of connection you could make with somebody or impact they could have on you or you could have on them. And you can't get there without being uncommon. So I think that's the first thing that I thought of and something that was fresh on my mind. So take it with what you will. Hope you have an awesome freaking day, and don't forget to smile.